A fighter jet is a military aircraft designed to attack other aircraft in the air. In contrast to bombers, which were designed to attack surface targets, fighter aircraft were relatively smaller, fast, and agile. Modern fighter aircraft can perform a variety of roles and are truly universal aircraft. Various countries have ways to protect their airspace from their enemies by having advanced equipment such as fighter jets. The more sophisticated the jet, the more effective it is in carrying out its role. Powerful engines, complex weapons systems, and sophisticated radars allow this combat equipment to play multiple roles. One of the most sophisticated and most terrifying aircraft stealth is the Lockheed Martin F-35 Lightning II. The Lockheed Martin F-35 Lightning II is an American family of single-seat, single-engine, all-weather multi-role stealth fighter aircraft intended to perform air superiority and strike missions. The F-35 is also capable of providing electronic warfare and intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance capabilities. The aircraft is descended from the Lockheed Martin X-35, which in 2001 beat the Boeing X-32 to win the Joint Strike Fighter (JSF) program. Its construction was principally funded by the United States, with additional funding from NATO partner countries and close U.S. allies, including the United Kingdom, Australia, Canada, Italy, Norway, Denmark, the Netherlands, and Turkey, prior to release. Several other countries have ordered, or are considering ordering, the aircraft. The program has attracted a great deal of attention and criticism due to its unprecedented size, complexity, inflated costs, and severely delayed delivery, with many technical flaws still to be fixed. The acquisition strategy of concurrent production of the aircraft, while it was still in development and testing, resulted in costly design changes and retrofits. The F-35B entered service with the U.S. Marine Corps in July 2015, followed by the U.S. Air Force F-35A in August 2016 and the U.S. Navy's F-35C in February 2019. The F-35 was first used in combat in 2018 by the Israeli Air Force. The U.S. plans to purchase 2,456 F-35s by 2044, which will represent the bulk of the U.S. Air Force, Navy, and Marine Corps manned tactical air power for decades. This aircraft is projected to operate until 2070. Astaval aims to develop a replacement for the Harrier jump jet for the U.S. Marine Corps, USMC, and the British Royal Navy. Under one of Astaval's classified programs, the Supersonic Staval Fighter, SSF, Lockheed Skunk Works conducts research for a supersonic stealth Staval fighter intended for the U.S. Air Force, USAF, and USMC. The main technology being explored is the shaft-driven lift fan, SDLF, system. The Lockheed concept was a single-engine Canard Delta aircraft weighing about 24,000 pounds, 11,000 kilograms, empty. Astaval was renamed the Common Affordable Lightweight Fighter, CAF, in 1993 and involved Lockheed, McDonnell Douglas, and Boeing. In 1993, the Joint Advanced Strike Technology, JST, program emerged following the cancellation of the USAF's Multi-Role Fighter, MRF, and the U.S. Navy's, USN, Advanced Fighter Attack, A/FX programs. MRF, a program for relatively affordable replacement of the F-16, was scaled back and delayed due to the post-Cold War defense posture, which reduced the use of the F-16 fleet and thereby extended its service life, as well as increased budgetary pressures from the F-22 program. A/FX, originally known as Advanced Attack, began in 1991 as the USN's follow-up to the Advanced Tactical Aircraft program to replace the A-6. The resulting A-12 Avenger II program ATA was cancelled and cost overruns in 1991. At the same time, the discontinuation of the Naval Advanced Tactical Fighter, an offshoot of the USAF's Advanced Tactical Fighter program, to replace the F-14 resulted in the addition of additional combat capabilities to the AX, which was later renamed A/FX. Amid increasing budgetary pressures, the Department of Defense, DoD, Bottom-Up Review, BUR, in September 1993 announced the cancellation of the MRF and A/FX, with the prevailing experience carried over to the emerging JST program. JST is not intended to develop new aircraft, but rather to develop requirements, mature technologies, and demonstrate concepts for advanced strike warfare. As JST developed, the need for a concept demonstrator aircraft emerged in 1996, which would coincide with the Astavul/CAF full-scale flight demonstrator phase. Because the Astavul/CAF concept seemed aligned with the JST charter, the two programs were eventually merged in 1994 under the name JST, with the program now serving the USAF, USMC, and USN. JST was later renamed the Joint Strike Fighter, JSF, in 1995, with delivery of the Stavul by McDonnell Douglas, Northrop Grumman, Lockheed Martin, and Boeing. The JSF is expected to eventually replace the large number of multi-role fighters and attack aircraft in the US and Allied inventories, including the Harrier, F-16, F/A-18, A-10, and F-117. International participation is a key aspect of the JSF program. The United Kingdom joined JST/JSF as a founding member in 1995 and thus became the only Tier 1 partner. Italy, the Netherlands, Denmark, Norway, Canada, Australia, and Turkey joined the program during the concept demonstration stage, with Italy and the Netherlands being Tier 2 partners and the remainder Tier 3. As a result, the aircraft was developed in collaboration with international partners and made available for export. Boeing and Lockheed Martin were selected in early 1997 for the CDP, with their concept demonstrators designated the X-32 and X-35 respectively. The McDonnell Douglas team was eliminated and Northrop Grumman and British Aerospace joined the Lockheed Martin team. Each company will produce two prototype air vehicles to demonstrate conventional takeoff and landing, CTOL, carrier takeoff and landing, CV, and Stavul. The Lockheed Martin design will benefit from work on the SDLF system being carried out under the Astavul/CAF program. A key aspect of the X-35 that enabled Stavul operation, the SDLF system consisted of a lift fan in the forward center fuselage which could be activated by means of a clutch connecting the drive shaft to the turbine, and thereby augmenting the thrust from the engine's rotating nozzle. Research from previous aircraft incorporating similar systems, such as the Convair Model 200, Rockwell XFE-12, and Yakovlev Yak-141, is also being considered. In contrast, the Boeing X-32 uses a direct lift system so that the additional turbofan will be reconfigured when performing Stavul operations. Lockheed Martin's component commonality strategy is to replace the Stavul variant SDLF with fuel tank and rear swivel nozzles with two-dimensional thrust vector nozzles for the CTOL variant. This will allow identical aerodynamic configurations for the Stavul and CTOL variants, while the CV variant will have enlarged wings to reduce landing speed for carrier recovery. Due to the aerodynamic characteristics and carrier recovery requirements of the JST incorporation, the design configuration will be set on a conventional tail compared to the Delta Canard design of Astavul/CAF. In particular, the conventional tail configuration offers significantly lower risk to operator recovery than the Astavul/CAF Canard configuration, which is designed with operator compatibility in mind. This allowed greater commonality between the three variants, as objective commonality was still important at this design stage. The Lockheed Martin prototype will consist of the X-35A for demonstration CTOL before changing it to the X-35B for demonstration Stavul, and the larger winged X-35C for a demonstration of CV compatibility. The X-35A first flew on October 24, 2000 and conducted flight tests for subsonic and supersonic flight qualities, handling, range, and maneuver performance. After 28 flights, the aircraft was converted to the X-35B for Stavul testing, with major changes including the addition SDLF, 3-bearing swivel module, 3 BSM, and roll control ducts. The X-35B will successfully demonstrate the SDLF system by performing a steady hover, vertical landing, and short takeoff in less than 500 feet, 150 meters. The X-35C first flew on December 16, 2000 and conducted practice carrier landing tests. October 2001, Lockheed Martin was declared the winner and awarded the System Development and Demonstration (SDD) contract. Pratt & Whitney was separately awarded a development contract for the F-135 engine for the JSF. The F-35's naming, which fell out of order with the standard DoD numbering, was allegedly decided on the spot by Program Manager Major General Mike Hoff. This came as a surprise even to Lockheed Martin, which had been expecting the designation F-24 for the JSF. The F-35 has an advantage over the F-22 in base flexibility and has advanced sensor and information integration capabilities. On March 25, 2009, Deputy Acquisitions for Assistant Secretary of the Air Force, Lieutenant General Mark D. Shackelford, stated that the F-35 is designed to be America's premier surface-to-air missile killer, and is uniquely equipped for this mission with advanced processing power, synthetic aperture radar integration techniques, and advanced target recognition. The structural composite in the F-35 is 35% of the airframe's weight, up from 25% in the F-22. The majority of these composites are bismillimide and epoxy composites. The F-35 will be the first mass-produced aircraft to incorporate structural nanocomposites, namely epoxy-reinforced nanocarbon tubes. The F-22's experience of problems with corrosion led to the F-35 using gap fillers which caused less galvanic corrosion in the fuselage skin, were designed with fewer gaps requiring fillers and implemented better drainage. The relatively short 35-foot wingspan of the A and B variants is governed by the F-35B's requirements to fit inside the parking areas and lifts of the Navy's current amphibious assault ships, the longer wings of the F-35C deemed more fuel efficient. A U.S. Navy study found that the F-35 will cost 30 to 40% more to maintain than a current fighter jet, not accounting for inflation over the F-35's operational life. A Pentagon study concluded $1 trillion in maintenance costs would be needed for the entire fleet over its lifetime, not accounting for inflation. The F-35 Program Office found that as of January 2014, the cost to the F-35 fleet over its 53-year life cycle was $857 billion. Costs for these fighters have fallen, accounting for a 22% life cycle reduction since 2010. Lockheed stated that in 2019, prices for fifth-generation aircraft will be less than fourth-generation fighters. The F-35A in 2019 is estimated to cost $85 million per unit complete with engines and full mission systems, inflation adjusted from $75 million in December 2013. The Stavel F-35B is equipped with the Rolls-Royce lift system designed by Lockheed Martin and developed by Rolls-Royce. This system was more similar to the German VJ101D/E than to the earlier Stavel Harrier jump jet and Rolls-Royce Pegasus engines. The lift system consisted of a lift fan, a drive shaft, 2 reel piles, and a 3-bearing swivel module, 3BSM. The 3BSM is a thrust vector nozzle which allows the main engine exhaust to be turned downward at the end of the fuselage. The lift fans are near the front of the fuselage and provide counterbalance thrust by means of 2 counter-turn flashes. It is powered by a low-pressure (LP) engine turbine via a drive shaft and gearbox. Roll control during low-speed flight is achieved by diverting unheated engine bypass air through wing-mounted thrust nozzles called roll posts. The F-35A is armed with the GU-22/A, a 4-barreled version of the 25mm GU-12 equalizer gun. The gun is mounted internally for 182 rounds for the F-35A or in an external pod with 220 rounds for the F-35B and F-35C. Cannon pods have stealth features as well. The software enabling operational firing of the gun was installed in 2018. The F-35 has an external hardpoint for carrying missiles, bombs and fuel tanks at the sacrifice of increasing its radar cross-section and thereby reducing its stealth. These include 4 underwing pylons that can carry the AIM-120 AMRAAM BVR, AGM-158 Joint Air-to-Surface Standoff Missile, JSSM, cruise missiles, guided bombs, and 2 near-wingtip pylons for short-range air-to-air missiles, AIM-9X Sidewinder and AIM-132 OSRAAM. The F-35 has 2 internal weapons bays for a total of 4 weapons stations. 2 of these can carry air-to-surface missiles or bombs of up to 2,000 pounds, 910 kilograms, each in models A and C, or air-to-surface missiles or bombs of up to 1,000 pounds, 450 kilograms, each in Model B. The other 2 stations are for smaller weapons such as air-to-air missiles. The weapons bay can carry AIM-120 AMRAAM, AIM-132 OSRAAM, Direct Combined Attack Ammunition, JDM, Paveway Bomb Series, Combined Standoff Weapon, JSOW, Brimstone, Spear 3 Anti-Tank Missile, and Cluster Munitions, Wind-Corrected Munitions Dispenser. The air-to-air missile payload of 8 AIM-120s and 2 AIM-9s can be carried using internal and external weapon stations. A configuration of 6 2,000-pound, 910 kilograms bombs, 2 AIM-120 and 2 AIM-9 could also be arranged. The Terma AS Multi-Mission Pod, MMP, can be used for different equipment and purposes, such as electronic warfare, aerial reconnaissance, or rear-facing tactical radar. The UK Ministry of Defence plans to launch Capability 3 Select Precision Effects at Range (SPEAR) missiles from the internal bays of the F-35B, with 4 missiles stowed per bay. The Joint Strike Fighter program was established to replace older fighter aircraft. with relatively low development, production and operating costs. This was achieved by creating a fighter with 3 variants, each of which had 80% commonality. F-35A variant, a conventional takeoff and landing (CTOL) aircraft that will replace the United States Air Force's F-16 Fighting Falcon starting in 2011. F-35B variant, short takeoff and vertical landing (short landing) variant. Takeoff and vertical landing (STAVL), which will replace the United States Marine Corps and Italian Navy AV-8 Harrier II and F/A-18 Hornet, and the United Kingdom Harrier GR7/GR9 from 2012. Aircraft carrier that will replace the United States Navy's F/A-18 Hornet, AB/C/D variant only, starting in 2012.